So remembering, if it doesn't feel good in the reclining butterfly, like if this feels too stretchy for the hips too soon, please, please, please straighten the legs out. It might even just be a little bit further. So the further your heels are away from your body, the stretch sort of starts to move. The closer your heels are, it'll be more of like in the hip flexors, I guess. And then the further away your heels are from your body, it'll be more in like the outer hips that we're working into. So just taking a few moments to check in. Notice how your body's feeling today. Notice how your breath moves through your body today. And we're not bringing our attention to our body and to our breath so we can judge it, or so that we can compare it to yesterday. But just to be mindful of what's going on inside of us today, in this very moment. Like, how does it feel laying here on the mat? How do your hips feel? Your lower back, your shoulders? Has your mind already drifted off? Or has it not even made it here yet in the first place? And just taking these early moments in the practice to connect. Connecting body, mind, and breath together. And then knowing today that it doesn't matter what our poses look like. It does not matter. It doesn't matter what shapes we create or how flexible we are or how strong we are. It matters that we feel good. That we feel good doing the poses. We feel good in our bodies. It matters that we're breathing. So if nothing else today, just focus on your breath. Really tune in to your inhales and your exhales. So starting to draw the knees back towards each other, nice and slow. And keep the hands sort of away from the hips. And take the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Yeah. And then just let both of them fall over to the right. So both knees fall over to the right, but keep the feet a little bit wider. And then take the gaze towards the left. Nice. Then inhale, come back through center. And the knees all the way over to the left side. And take the gaze towards the right. And so keeping the shoulders and the upper back gently connected, pressing into the ground. Inhale, come back to center, and just one more each side. So feeling that gentle twist in the body, that opening through the hips and through the front of the thighs. And one more, inhale to center, and exhale all the way over to the left side. And so just starting to feel our range of movement in the lower back, in the hips. Seeing how the thighs feel today. Inhale to center, and then draw both of the knees into the chest. And just give them a little hug in. Have a little roll from side to side if that feels nice, or making circles with the knees. Sometimes feels really nice to massage out the glute muscles. And maybe until we put a little bit of pressure on these glute muscles, we're not even really aware of how tight, how tense they are. So if it feels good, roll. And it might, because we have all the little puzzle pieces underneath us. It's nice and squishy. But if it doesn't feel good, then just stay nice and still with your knees into your chest. Focusing on your breath. Letting your mind calm and clear. Letting the muscles find a little bit of space as you direct a little bit more breath to any areas that are a bit tight. And if you're a roller or a swayer slowing down, Mondo. And bring your hands behind the back of your thighs. So from here, we're just going to rock and roll on our back until we come all the way up to easy boat pose. So it might take us a couple rolls. It might only take us one, but it might feel really nice to keep rolling until we come all the way up. Nice. Nice, guys. And then sitting up on like the least amount of your butt as possible. And then flex the toes. So maybe the ankles are in line with the knees. Nice. So you can either hold on to the back of your thighs or you can reach the hands all the way out in front. And then really feel that connection to your core as you lift the head higher. Awesome. Deep breath in. On the exhale, lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Inhale here and exhale, come up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. One more like that. Inhale at the top. Exhale down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Come up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Back into the butterfly. So bring the soles of the feet together and then in nice and close for this first one. So bring the heels in as close to the body as comfy and then sit up nice and tall, just making little pulses with your knees. So tiny little pulses. Tilt the pelvis a little bit forward, but feel, oh my goodness. Feel the shoulders and the elbows nice and relaxed. And then it's almost as like you were sitting against a wall, I guess. So lean back into the pose, just a little bit. Yeah, good guys. And then slowing down the little pulsing. We'll take the right leg and either place it in the left wrist or the left elbow. Yeah. And then wrap around. So rock the baby, I think this pose is called. So either interlace your fingers or just hold your leg and then draw the thigh in towards your belly. Keep the back up nice and straight though. So it's really common in this pose to sort of like round out just to get the leg nice and close. Doesn't really matter how close the leg is, more important that the spine stays up nice and tall. So gently drawing your leg in and then maybe if there's a little bit more room, we start to bring the shin closer to like parallel towards the ground, I guess. Yeah. And then just opening and closing the hip nice and gently. With maintaining that long, straight spine. Continuing to draw the shoulder blades together and you'll notice like as soon as you let the back round, maybe you lose the stretch a little bit and the more that you straighten up, the deeper the stretch becomes. Good guys. And then slowly lowering back down into the butterfly. And then taking hold of the opposite leg. So bringing now the left leg either into the wrist joint. It's a different hip, so maybe it feels better holding on with just the wrist. Maybe it feels better holding on with just the elbow. Was that a little ant? Yeah.
A massive red ant.
Oh no, that wouldn't make it very comfortable practice. And then the same thing, draw the thigh in first and then flex the toes and bring the shin maybe to parallel, or that's where it's aiming for. So it doesn't matter if the leg is down here. If that's where you feel the stretch, then that is perfect. And then maintain that really straight spine. So feel the shoulder blades drawing down, gently opening and closing the hip. Awesome. And then slowly lowering back down. Good. Then with your butterfly feet, take them as far away this time from the body as comfy. So as far away as they go. Holding on somewhere below the knees, above the ankles. And then tilt the pelvis a little bit more forward. So this one is probably going to be more in the outer hips, but you still might also feel it in the inner hips. So take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, start to hinge forward. Super slow. And keep the length in the back of the body and the space in the front. So try and resist rolling the back just to get the head down. Doesn't matter how far the head comes down. Lead with your chest. And feel your belly is the first thing that's coming closest to the ground. And you can tuck the chin into the chest. But keep the shoulders drawing back. And then notice if your hips or your glute muscles, they really sort of cling on. And if they do, see if you can send a little bit of breath there. Send your awareness to any places that are tight or tense. And see if gradually, breath by breath, you can allow them to open just a little bit. Guys, use your inhale, slowly coming back up. Nice and slow, drawing the knees in towards each other. Placing the soles of the feet flat on the ground and the knees wide. Coming all the way up to chair pose. Maybe with no hands as we press up. Maybe with hands, exactly, to press up all the way into chair pose. And then take your gaze towards your toes. You want to be able to see all 10 of them peeking out in front of the knees. So it doesn't matter where your arms are, just make sure they're nice and strong. So feel your fingertips really reaching up and feel your shoulders really drawing down. Nice, guys. Even weight in both of the feet, so pressing the ground away from you. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands into the center of the chest. Just a gentle gaze on the fingertips. Good long neck as you feel the shoulder blades drawing down. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Interlace the fingers, invert the palms to the ceiling, and on the exhale, side bend towards the right. As you side bend towards the right though, you feel heaps of space in the left. See if we can create a little bit more space in the right side of the body as well by lifting up and out over the hips. Inhale to center, and then exhale all the way over to the other side. And the same deal, rather than just jumping into the left hip, lift up and out and then over. Great. Inhale to center. Exhale, hinge from the hips and forward fold all the way down, bending the knees as you go. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. So connect your fingers to something. It doesn't matter if it's the ground or if it's your own legs, but connect to something, and then you feel that support from the hands beneath you. You feel that you can lift the chest just a little bit more and draw the shoulder blades together just a little bit more. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, forward fold into your ragdoll. So separating the feet a little bit if that feels nice. And then either letting the hands hang heavy or holding opposite elbows in front of the legs or behind. Maybe clasping your hands on top of your head. Bending your knees a little bit though. So much nicer for the lower back. Especially because it's really early and this is probably, the most amount of movement we've done since we've got out of bed and walked here. So just be really careful with your lower back and be really mindful of how it feels. So by bending the knees, it gives like the belly a bit of a shelf to rest on, I guess. And don't worry about straightening the legs. Work more so on lifting the underside of your butt up towards the ceiling. And then it doesn't matter how bent the knees are. By doing that, just that one little movement, you'll probably get a way deeper stretch anyway. And then feel your head being drawn closer to the ground. Any swaying that feels nice, absolutely, please sway, of course. And if it feels nice just to sway from the head, then just sway from here. If it feels nice to sway into the hips, into the torso, into the shoulders, into the arms, any movements, always feel encouraged to take the little movements that feel nice in your body, in this moment. And if you're a swayer, slowly starting to slow down and releasing the hands to the ground, take another halfway lift as we lengthen. So deep breath in, stick your butt back, reach the crown of the head forward, and then exhale to fold. Plant the palms, take a big step back with just the right leg, and then drop the right knee down. Perfect. Inhale, just the left hand sweeps all the way up. So watch the fingertips on the left hand as you reach up. Draw both of your thighs towards each other and press the left foot down and forward into the mat. So this gives us a little bit more height. Perfect. Deep breath in. And exhale, slowly lower down. Low lunge. Inhale, sweep both of the hands all the way up. Tuck your butt under as you go. So if we don't tuck our butt under, we can probably sink like really far into the left hip, but there's these little nerves in the hip flexors, and if we over compress into them, I guess, we can pinch them and it hurts. So tuck your butt more under and you'll feel the stretch more in like the right thigh. Yeah. And then from here, the left hand comes down for archer arms. Bend both of the elbows and then reaching for opposite fingertips. Nice. Draw both of the elbows towards your midline. Keep tucking the butt under as you sink into the front knee, lifting the chest up. Nice, guys. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up for low lunge. And then on the exhale, hands come down either side of the front foot. On the inhale, step back, half balancing table. So the left leg steps all the way back. Beautiful. On the inhale, the right hand lifts. Full balancing table. Nice. So really strong lifted limbs. Feel your core drawing up and feel you're pressing your fingers away with the left hand. Deep breath in. On the exhale, bend the left knee, reach around, grabbing hold of the toes, and then gently pressing into your hand as you lift your chest. Good, and feel the right shoulder opening. So holding on to the outside edge of your foot, and it's kind of hard to decide which is which because you're back to front and it's the opposite hand. So maybe just have a little feel of your foot or a peek around. Holding on to the outside edge will help us to open through the right shoulder. Great. Inhale, balancing table, and exhale, lower down. Inhale here, lift the chest as you press the ground away from you, and then on the exhale, chest chin to the ground. So stick your butt up super high, lower the chest in between the thumbs. Inhale, scoop forward into your cobra pose. Keep the neck nice and long, so really resist the temptation to look up, and keep the gaze down so the neck stays long. Exhale and fold. Tuck the toes, inhale, pressing back for child's pose. Awesome. And then exhale, lift the butt, lift the hips all the way back for downward facing dog. Nice, guys. And then the same deal, any movement that feels good here, please feel free to make it. So pedaling the feet out is a really, really popular one. Popular because it feels good. Some days it mightn't feel good to move, so you don't need to move. If it feels good to sort of sway the hips from side to side or swivel the hips from side to side, please make these movements. High tippy toes or coming into sort of like a child's pose-ish pose. Doesn't matter. Any movements that feel nice. And they feel nice because they're like lengthening the hamstrings, releasing the lower back and creating a little bit more space in the hips. Be mindful that all 10 fingers are pressing down into the mat. So this will protect your wrists. And sort of visualize your shoulders drawing further away from your wrists, creating a little bit of space in that joint. And finding some stillness in your downward dog. On the inhale, lift the right leg, three-legged dog. And on the exhale, bend the right knee and open the hips up. So bring your right heel even closer towards your right butt. Perfect. And then lift the right knee high towards the ceiling and feel that opening down the entire right side of your body. So if your body weight has come forward a little, just press it back towards your left thigh. So you'll feel your butt lift higher up towards the ceiling and you feel the stretch deeper down the right side. Take one more deep breath in. Good. And on the exhale, take a big step forward with the right leg. Big step forward and drop the right knee down. And the left hand again, inhale, sweep up. So we open our body up towards the side. Keep even weight in both of the legs. Nice. Exhale and lower down. Inhale, lift the back knee, step forward. Great. And then exhale, forward fold, nice and slow. Keeping the knees bent and the head nice and heavy. Bend the knees a ton. Inhale, sweep up, chair pose. And on the exhale, look down. All 10 toes are visible. And if they're not, again, just sink your butt back a little bit. Perfect. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands into the center of the chest. Gentle gaze to the fingertips. Inhale, sweep up. If you remember which way you interlaced your fingers last time, do it a different way this time. If you can't remember, do it the way that you do without thinking and then swap it, because that's usually the opposite way. And then lift up as you breathe in. On the exhale, over to the right side, creating more space in the right side of the body. Inhale to center, and then exhale all the way over to the opposite side. Keep the body nice and long and the front of the body open. Inhale to center, and then exhale, hinge from the hips and forward fold all the way back down. Bending the knees as you go. Inhale for halfway lift, lengthen. And exhale to fold. Plant the palms. Take a big step back with the left leg, more towards the left side of the mat, and then drop the left knee down. Good. Inhale, the right hand sweeps all the way up. So watching the fingertips as you reach up, drawing your shoulder blades together and drawing the belly in. So if you notice your belly is sort of just like hanging out next to your thigh, draw it in. Draw the shoulder blades together and create a little bit more twist in the body. Take one more inhale, and then exhale to lower down. With both of the hands sweep up for low lunge. So press your right foot forward and down into the ground and then tuck your butt under. So really feel the stretch first in the left quad, then start to sink in. Nice. Arch your arms here. So the right hand comes down and around, bending both of the elbows. And one side is usually a lot more accessible than the other. So this might be it, this might not be it. Doesn't matter. So grab what you can grab, whether it's ponytail or t-shirts or fingers or wrists, and then squeeze the elbows more towards the midline and drop your shoulders down. Lift the chest a little bit. Awesome. Inhale, sweep both of the hands all the way up. On the exhale, hands come down either side of the front foot. On the inhale, step back to half balancing table, so the right leg comes all the way back. Nice. And then on the inhale, the left hand lifts. So draw your belly in, and then really reach the left fingertips, but draw the left shoulder back. And then really reach the right toes, but draw the right hip in. And then press evenly through the right hand and the left foot. Deep breath in. On the exhale, bend the right knee, reach around, grabbing hold of the outside edge of the foot, and then press into your hand. So the more you press into your hand, usually the easier it is to balance. Steady gaze forward. Steady breath. Nice, guys. Inhale to release. And exhale to lower down. Inhale here to lift the chest and find length in the arms. And then on the exhale, slowly lower down, sticking the butt up super high. Reach the chin all the way out in front. And on the inhale, scoop forward, hovering the hands for cobra pose. So press the big toes into the ground. Press the hips into the ground. Keep the neck nice and long and draw the shoulders back. Yeah. Exhale and lower down. Tuck the toes. Inhale. Press back, child's pose. And then on the exhale, lift the butt, lift the hips all the way back up into downward facing dog. And then be really mindful of the fingertips on the ground here. So push them down and forward into the mat. So it's almost like you're trying to stretch your mat longer. Feel your butt reaching up towards the ceiling. Good. Any movements that feel good, any movements in your body that you want to make, please feel free to make them. And it might feel good to make them last time, but this time it's like, no, it doesn't feel good. And vice versa. So continually checking in, continually moving in a way that feels beneficial, supportive, nourishing to you. And when you're ready, on an inhale, lifting the left leg, three-legged dog. Good. On the exhale, bending the knee and opening the hips up. So if your body weight has come forward, even just slightly, press it further back towards your right thigh. And then bring your left heel even closer towards your left butt. And then feel that stretch then in the thigh. Feel the opening down the entire left side of your body. Stay connected to your breath and take a deep breath in. On the exhale, take a big step forward. Big step forward towards the left thumb, and then drop the right knee down. On the inhale, the right hand again sweeps all the way up. Notice what your back foot does though, and if it sort of just like wobbles to the side or relaxes, push your right heel further back. That seems to give us a little bit more space to then sink into the left knee. Draw the shoulder blades together. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, lower down. Lift the back knee on the inhale breath, step forward. And then exhale to forward fold at the top of the mat, keeping the knees still that little bit bent, and the head stays nice and heavy. Feeling the length in the spine. Feeling your breath moving effortlessly through your body here. Feeling just the weight of your head enough to draw down and lengthen the back. And then bend the knees a ton. So maybe even a little bit more than you did last time. Inhale, sweep up, chair pose. And feel the strength in the legs, the strength in the core and in the arms. On the exhale, hands into the center of the chest. Looking towards the fingertips, inhale, sweep the hands high. Good, cross just the thumbs over, so gentle pressure in the palms. Squeeze the arms to the ears, but lower the shoulders. And then on the exhale, all the way over to the right side. Keeping the whole front of the body nice and open. Inhale to center and exhale all the way over to the opposite side. Good. Keep the core nice and strong. Inhale to center. Exhale, hinge from the hips and forward fold. Come all the way back down. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Just one breath here. And exhale to fold. Good. Plant the palms. Take a big step back with the right leg. And stay up high on the right tippy toes. Good. Inhale, the left hand sweeps all the way up. So watching the fingertips of the left hand. Draw the shoulder blades together. And then as much as you lean into the left knee, push the right heel further back. So there's even weight, even strength in both of the legs. Take one more inhale and exhale to lower down. Nice. Inhale, sweep both of the hands all the way up for high lunge. And then on the exhale, arch your arms so the left hand comes down and around, bending both elbows. Nice. And then notice if your butt sticks back and your chest sticks forward, and if it does, just reverse it. So tuck the butt under a little bit and draw the ribs in. Nice. Both elbows moving evenly in opposite directions. Lift the chest a little. On the inhale, reach the hands all the way up. And then on the exhale, hands come down inside of the front foot. So we're stepping all the way back to three-legged dog, the left leg, yeah? So the left knee into the chest, and then step all the way back, opening the hip. So the left heel comes close to the left butt. Good, bending the left knee a ton. Perfect, guys. Really pressing the chest back, feeling that opening in your thigh. Take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, take a big step forward outside of the left hand. All the way outside of the left hand. Nice. And then drop the right knee down for lizard pose. So first part of the pose, we keep the right, it's a left knee, the left knee into the shoulder. You can drop down onto your elbows if that feels good, but keep the knee in towards the side of the body and keep the chest, I guess, higher than the hips. So the first thing that's going to come to the ground, if anything is coming to the ground, will be the hips. And the chest and the head will be one of the last things. So that helps us to keep the length in our back. Awesome, guys. And keep the back leg nice and active. So if you notice the back leg is just sort of hanging out and not doing much, push your heel further back so then we feel a little bit more activation in the right quad. And that either then seems to give us a little bit more room to move or stops us from overstretching into the left hip. Good. And then from here, if you want to add more of a thigh stretch, start to draw the right knee a little bit more towards you. So then as you bend the right knee, we come more onto like the meaty part of the thigh rather than directly on the knee joint. Good. From here, the left hand inhale sweeps all the way up and over to catch our toes. And then it's your choice with the right knee, or the left knee, sorry, we want it to be pointing in the same direction as the toes. So if your toes are still facing forward, so is your knee. If you want to open out to the side, turn the toes out to a 45 degree and then maybe start to let the heel, or the knee, sorry, fall away from the body. Keep your left toes nice and flexed. Good. And then with your right foot, if it feels good to draw it closer in towards the body, maybe it feels nice. It's early. It's a really big stretch. So move slow. Stay connected to your breath and what you're doing. Nice. And gently letting the right foot release. Inhale the left hand all the way back up and over. Draw the left knee in, and coming to pigeon pose. So then start to walk the left foot all the way over to the right and back a little bit. So the right and back. Nice. And then from here, seeing that both hips stay nice and even to the front of the room. So it doesn't matter if you're a really high pigeon, probably better than if you're a really high pigeon, but both hips stay nice and even. Yeah, so start to sink into the pose, but not losing the swiveling of the hips. So where you feel somewhere that feels good, take a deep breath in, walk the hands back. So feel the lengthen in the body first. And then on the exhale, slowly lower down into your sleeping pigeon. So you might want to be pressing up on your arms here. Maybe you want to straighten the arms all the way out. Maybe that feels nicer. Maybe you want to make a little pillow for your head to rest on. And then just letting the body sink into this, keeping the back leg nice and active. Being really mindful of your knee as you sink in. Yeah, it feels okay. Yeah. All I've got for you is a boxing glove that I'm going to put under here. And it just might make it a little bit more comfy. It might not. If it doesn't help at all, just kick it out. But maybe it just like offers a little bit of support to put your butt on. Yeah? Maybe. Does it make it worse? Yeah. Does it make it worse? No, but well, maybe it's there for the next side too. Yeah. And to come out of this sleeping pigeon pose, guys, slowly start to walk your hands back up. And then we come back into the three-legged dog. So planting the palms, tuck the right toes and lift the right knee. Then on the inhale, all the way back to three-legged dog and open the hip. And hopefully that feels really nice then to open the hip. If it feels good to make circles with your hip or with your ankle, please do. It can feel really nice just to release this joint a little bit. If it doesn't feel good, then of course don't do it. And finding a little stillness in your three-legged dog, take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, take a big step forward. Big step forward towards the front of the mat. Nice. Again, the left hand inhale sweeps all the way up. So both strong legs. Draw the belly in, draw the shoulder blades together. And then on the exhale, lower down. On the inhale, step forward to the top of the mat. And then on the exhale, forward fold. Let the head hang nice and heavy. So really letting the neck relax and release. Bend the knees a ton. Inhale, sweep all the way up to standing. All the way up to standing. And exhale, hands into the center of the chest, looking towards the fingertips. Keeping a slight bend in the knees. Inhale, the hands sweep up. If you remember which way you crossed your thumbs last time, cross them a different way this time. And then as the fingertips reach up, draw the shoulders down. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, side bend to the right. Is it salt water, or you're getting a little bit of a cold?
I think so.
No. The cold one or the salt water one?
Like, what is it? Can you get a cold from salt water?
Oh, no, but like sometimes I have salt water that just pours out of my nose.
Oh.
But and then exhale to the opposite. It's
Cold
not
water,
that.
salt water and juice.
Inhale to center. Good. On the exhale, hinge from the hips and forward fold all the way back down. Bending the knees as you go. Inhale for halfway lift. And then on the exhale, fold. Nice. Plant the palms. Take a big step back with the left leg, more towards the left side, and stay up high on the tippy toes. And on the inhale, the right hand sweeps all the way up. Nice. Opening the chest, drawing the shoulder blades a little bit more together. Even weight in the legs, so as you sink into the right knee, push the left heel further back and draw your thighs gently towards each other. One more deep breath in. And then on the exhale, lower down. Inhale, sweep both of the hands all the way up. Nice. For high lunge. So the same, as much as you sink into the right thigh, push the left heel further back. Then on the exhale, arch your arms. The right hand comes down and around. Is it the right hand? I hope so. And then looking for the opposite fingertips, maybe. So it doesn't matter. If you have hold of your fingertips, awesome. If you don't have hold of your fingertips, awesome. It doesn't matter. Just keep both of the elbows drawn towards the midline as much as they do, and then in opposite directions. So draw the belly and chest in. Tuck the butt under just a little bit and lift the chest. Inhale, sweep both hands all the way up. On the exhale, hands come all the way back down, stepping back to three-legged dog and opening the hip. So draw the right knee up and then all the way back. Beautiful. Bring the right heel even closer towards your right butt this time. Really pressing the chest further back and feeling that opening and that length, that space down the whole right side of the body. Staying strong in both of the arms. Take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, take a big step forward outside of the right hand, all the way forward. Different side of the body. So as you lower into the left knee, just be mindful of this hip. Move nice and slow. The first part, we're keeping the right knee into the shoulder or into the side of the body. And then maybe this side, you drop down onto one elbow and you're like, no, maybe not. Maybe you drop to the other and you're like, oh yeah, maybe. Maybe you're two elbows. It's a different side. So chances are it might need different things. Keep your back leg, your left leg really active still. So it doesn't matter if the toes are tucked or untucked, but just keep a little bit of strength and activation in that leg. And that will help us take less of the strain or less of the stress out of the front leg. So we want our body to be always working nice and evenly. Stay completely connected to your breath. But if you want to go for a thigh stretch here, start to draw the left knee in a little bit as you bend the leg. So then this way, hopefully it does feel a little bit nicer. If we don't sort of drag it forward, we could be pressing straight onto the kneecap, and that's never comfy. And then if you want to reach around, the right hand sweeps all the way around. But being a different side of the body, it's your choice. Whether you want to keep the right knee pressing forward so the right toes stay forward, or whether it feels nicer to turn the right toes out to like a 45-ish degree and then sort of roll onto the pinky edge side of the foot. Keeping the toes flexed, that will help to keep the muscles all nice and active to keep the kneecap in the right place. And then notice how much weight you're putting into your left hand, and if you're really slumping into it, chances are this isn't great for the shoulder, so just lift up a little bit more. Yeah, draw the shoulder blades together a little bit more. Maybe draw the right toes in or the right heel to the butt a little bit more. Moving super slow always. And then gently release. Super, super slowly release. Bring the right knee back into the center of the chest. One hand either side as we start to make our way to pigeon pose. So start to wiggle, I guess, the right toes more to the left and back. So left and back. And then when we lower the shin down, both of the hips stay facing forward. Different sides. So you might be up really, really high on this side. That's better than sort of like slumping into the pose and coming into like that sort of pigeon. Might just put a little bit more pressure on the hips. So stay up tall if you need to stay up tall. Sink into it as your body opens. Walk your hands back first. So this way we create a little bit more space in the hip flexors, a little bit more space in the front of the body. And then on the exhale, slowly start to fold forward. So whether both of your butts or back of your thighs are on the ground or not, it doesn't matter. They might both be really lifted off of the ground. It might feel nicer this time to stay propped up on your elbows. It might feel nicer this time to make little fists with your hands for your forehead to rest on. And then just notice where your weight is distributed. And if more of it is in your right thigh or on your right side, just so you can get lower, maybe adjust slightly. So bring more weight towards the left side, the straight leg. And then see if that changes the stretch at all. Really connect to your breath in this pose. So slow, steady, conscious breaths. And that will help us to really release the muscles. If we feel like we're tightening up and tensing up, the breath then might start to become shallow and short, and that activates sort of like the stress response in the body. So the muscles will activate because they'll need to be ready to either fight or flight, right? So when we breathe nice and slow, nice and steady, it signals to the body that everything is okay, that we're okay just the way that we are. There's no need to be on alert. You can relax. Really stay connected to this breath. Guys, and then to walk your way out of it nice and slow, bringing the hands out in front, tucking the left toes and pressing all the way back into three-legged dog again, but all the way back. Nice, opening the hip, and then again, if it feels nice to make circles with the hip or circles with the ankle, do so, but do so really slowly. So do it because it feels nice, it feels like a release. Maybe it feels good to bring the right foot a little further over towards the left, and we feel sort of like the knee gently hanging on the hip, and that can feel really nice to release. Take a deep breath in, and an exhale, a big step forward inside of the right hand, and then on the inhale the right hand sweeps up again. Good, one little twist here as you open the body, and then on the exhale lower down. Inhale, step towards the top of the mat. And then on the exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees just a little and let the body hang. Good, feeling the release in the lower back. If it feels nice to bend one knee or bend the opposite. If it feels nice to take little sways from side to side. It can feel really nice to release the back and to release the back of the legs. Nice, guys. Then finding a stillness. Bring the big toes to touch, the heels just a tiny bit apart. Bend the knees a ton. Inhale, sweep up, chair pose. So really strong legs, strong core, strong arms as you reach up. And on the exhale, hands into the center of the chest. Nice. Alright, so for dancer's pose, separate the feet just a little bit and we'll put more weight in the left leg first. And then with your right hand, the thumb faces towards the back of the room as we pick up and catch the inner arch of our foot. So if we hold on to the outer edge of our foot, it sort of rolls the shoulder forward so that when we press into our hand, we're restricted for movement. If we hold on to the inner arch, it opens through the front of the chest, so we have a little bit more room. So start with your knees together and then find something at eye level to focus on. This is usually the most help. And then inhale the left hand all the way up. Good. Feel that length in the body. Feel your hips nice and even as you take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, as you start to hinge a little bit forward, kick into your hand. Notice if your knee really splays out to the side. It's easier for balance if it does this, but maybe not so great on the lower back. So draw your knee in. Yeah. Draw the belly in. If you wobble, if you waver, if you fall, awesome. We just come back. The more you press into your hand, usually the easier it is to balance. Feel that opening across the front of the chest. Feel strong in both of your arms and both of your legs. Inhale, slowly come back. And exhale to lower down and shake it out. So rolling the ankle if it feels nice. Any little movements that feel good. And then moving to the opposite side. So putting more weight in the right leg. And then the same thing, we turn the left hand out. And then catch the inside of the foot. So moving nice and slow, starting knees line up together. And this keeps our hips nice and even rather than starting with a hip already up or already down. And then inhale, sweep the right hand all the way up. Good, really drawing the right shoulder down and activating the arm completely. Take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, slowly start to hinge forward. Keep your back leg, your flying leg, really active as it presses into your hand. Feel the opening through the front of the chest. Move slow and keep your gaze just steadily focused on something. Awesome, guys. As much as you press into your backhand, reach forward. Feeling that arching in the lower back, but the space in the front of the body as you lift your chest up. Yeah. Inhale nice and slowly. And exhale to lower down. So good. And then rolling the ankles out again. Any little movements that feel good. And bring the big toes together. Heels are just a little apart. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. On the exhale, hinge from the hips and forward fold. Come all the way back down. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift as you lengthen everything. And exhale to fold. And then heel toe, the feet apart. So the toes are facing out and the heels are facing in. Nice. And then squat down into our little Indo squat. So you might need to adjust a little by bringing the feet a little closer, a little further apart. And then bring your elbows into the knee creases. Just to gently encourage the hips open, but not to force them. So somewhere that feels nice, not where it feels overly stretchy. And then notice if your weight comes forward into your inner arches, maybe not super great for the ankles, so put a little bit more weight into the pinky edge of the foot. Yes, and if you need to hold on, we don't have any poles. Usually if you find this pose really challenging, like it's really hard to balance, it's hard for the feet, if you want to practice this one at home or later, or you might maybe never want to do this again, but if you do, holding onto a pole can really help because you can allow yourself to lean your body weight back. Yeah, but we don't all have our own individual poles, so sorry guys. Sitting up nice and tall. And then on the exhale, hands come down, sit the butt all the way down, back into the butterfly pose. So first one, bringing the heels in nice and close to the body, and then just making little pulses with the knees. So noticing if it feels any different to the starter class. And not to compare it so we can be like, oh yes, heaps more flexy now, or oh crap, no worse. Not to do that, but just so we can notice. So we can tune into this moment. Feel your body lengthening. So we might be tempted to roll in and be like, it doesn't matter, we're just opening the hips, so I'll roll. But stay up nice and tall still. And then notice if your hips are more flexible, great. We've opened up, we've released, we've relaxed. Notice if they're more tight. This is great too, because then this means the body is signaling to you to try something different, to maybe alter or adjust or change. Slowing down your little pulses and just resting in your butterfly, leaning back just slightly, soft elbows, soft shoulders. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Nice. And then take the heels as far away from you as comfy. As far away as they go, just like we did at the start too. If you need to move like meaty bits of your butt, you can move your butt out, and that sort of just tilts the pelvis a little bit more forward, giving us a little bit more room. So holding on below the knees, above the ankles. Inhale to lift the chest and lengthen. Then on the exhale, start to forward fold. Moving nice and slow. Your hands can come to the inside if that feels good. They can rest on top of the calves, on top of the shins if that feels good. They can come outside if that feels better. Feel the crown of your head reaching more forward. So if it's tempted to drop down in between your knees, reach your head more towards your toes. And then feel how that lengthens the back. Draw your shoulder blades gently together. You can tuck the chin to the chest so we keep the neck nice and long, but just keep lengthening. So feel your butt really anchored to the ground. And if the hips really start to like cling on, send your breath there again. Slowly allow the body to soften in without pushing or without forcing, without demanding that it come closer to the ground. Just breathe into exactly the position that you're in. And allow your body to release and relax and soften here before you take a step further. And slowly, slowly, all the way back up. Nice and slow. Good, and then straightening both legs out to the front for cow face pose or shoelace legs, I guess. So we bend the right knee and bring it over the left. So I'm going to do the same as you guys. Yeah. And then making the knees sort of come close-ish together on top of each other. And if this feels all right, stay. If not, you can bend the bottom leg and come into both legs bent. So if you're bending both of the legs, make sure that both of your butts are on the ground and the heels are sort of semi-close towards the hips. So it'll be different for everyone. It might feel nicer to have the bottom leg straight out. It might feel nicer to have both legs bent. And then reach the hands away from the body. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. Nice for archer arms. So the left hand comes down and around. The left one comes down and around. And then bend both elbows, reaching for the fingertips, maybe. Take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, maybe start to fold forward. Notice though if your butts start to lift off of the ground. And if they do, maybe just come up a little bit more. So notice then if your right shoulder or elbow starts to dip forward and sort of like you see it passing you. And if that's happening, just draw it back up. So helping to keep the chest nice and open. And then inhale nice and slowly all the way back up. And releasing the arms, unraveling the legs and changing over sides. So the right leg will be straight this time. And the left knee bent over top. You might choose something different on this side. Maybe this time it feels nicer to keep the bottom leg straight. Maybe this time it feels nicer to bend both of the legs. And then reach the hands all the way away from the body. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way up. So feel that length and find the length first. Then the right hand comes down and around, bending both elbows. Good, maybe coming closer towards the fingertips. Maybe like still, no, not there. And then lift the chest. Deep breath in on the exhale. Slowly start to fold forward. If you have your legs straight out and you really feel the stretch behind the back of the knee rather than the hamstring or the calf, just flex your toes a little bit more and lift the chest a little bit higher. So that just takes a little bit of the weight and the stress away from the back of the leg. Nice, guys. Keeping the chest lifted and the shoulder blades gently drawing together. Good. Inhale all the way back up, nice and slow. And then exhale, release, unraveling the legs. Both legs out in front, flexing the toes back towards your body, and then tilting the pelvis a little bit forward. Reaching the hands out in front, we're coming to a forward fold. So take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, start to fold forward. So you can keep your hands on the ground if that feels okay. You can hold onto your legs. You can reach for your toes. But try and avoid using your legs as sort of like leverage. So if you're here and you're like, ugh, gripping on, it can sort of have the opposite effect and round the back. And we want a more neutral spine and a straighter back. So if you're holding on to your legs or your feet, they're just there like to guide you for support, to feel that connection, not to tug against. I'm tucking the chin into the chest, but keep the shoulders drawing back. Keep the quads nice and active. And the same with the belly, so draw your belly more in. And this will help to protect the lower back, help to protect the hamstrings. Guys, use your inhale breath. Slowly, slowly come all the way up. Coming back into your butterfly legs, soles of the feet together. You can take a far away butterfly or a close butterfly, doesn't matter. And then recline all the way back. So just like we started, all the way back onto the ground. And holding on to either opposite wrists or opposite elbows above your head. Noticing the same with your back. If your lower back really arches off of the ground here, just draw your belly in slightly and tilt your pelvis forward or up slightly. And this should help just to lower the lower back a little bit closer towards the ground. Allowing the eyes to close. And really breathing into all of this space. The second that butterfly legs don't feel good to you, place the soles of the feet flat on the ground, a little bit wider than hip distance, and let the knees fall in together to touch. So this will release the lower back after having the knees wide, and that might feel nicer. But if the butterfly legs feel great, then stay. Really noticing each and every breath. Really checking in with how your body feels. Into this openness and this space that we've created. Feeling maybe, bless you, a little bit more length. A little bit more release. And then everyone slowly starting to bend the knees. Bring the knees closer towards each other. And then drawing them in towards your chest. Giving them a little hug in if it feels nice. Before making our way to happy baby pose. So taking the knees wide, there's like tons of options for happy baby pose. It might feel nice to have your feet sort of relaxing rather than pointing directly up towards the ceiling. So if it does feel nice to have the feet hanging low, just hold on to either the front of the shins or the back of the thighs and take the knees wide. That might feel great. Maybe it will feel nice to come into full happy baby and you want to take the soles of the feet all the way up towards the ceiling. And then you can hold on anywhere, from anywhere behind the back of the thighs, the back of the calves, the front of the shins, the ankles, anywhere on the soles of the feet. It really doesn't matter. It's whatever feels best for you. And tuck the chin into the chest just a little bit. And then notice if your butt really lifts up off of the ground. And if it does, there's probably a ton of weight pressing into the lumbar spine or the lower back. And if that's the case, just push your butt a little further towards the ground. And then you feel more even weight distributed across your back. If it feels nice to sway, take little swaying movements. If it feels nice to do any leg variations, like if you want to straighten both legs all the way out towards the sides. If you want to bring both of the legs up towards the ceiling. Or if you want to do like archer legs, I guess. One leg comes wide and you bend one knee and bring one heel in close to the body. That might feel really nice. Maybe staying in the happy baby feels the best. So you focus on that. Whatever movements you're doing, do them because they feel good. They feel like they're releasing. Relaxing your muscles. Nice, guys. Drawing the knees into the chest. And giving your body a really big hug. So really squeezing the knees in. And then lifting the forehead or lifting the head and the neck, the shoulders off of the mat. And bringing your forehead up towards your knees. Pointing or flexing the toes. Activating the calf muscles, the thigh muscles as you squeeze your legs in. Good. Really clamp your fingers down and roll your shoulders. So tucking up into a tinier and tinier little ball, and then squish your face. So really squish your forehead and your nose. Clench your jaw. Tighten everything and take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, slowly start to unravel all the way into your Shavasana. So taking your movements nice and slow, not being in a rush, letting the feet fall out towards the sides, and taking the legs maybe even a little bit wider if they feel a little close, so we feel space in between our legs. And taking the hands out to the sides with the palms facing up. And then take the hands just a little bit further away from the hips so you feel space in the underarms. Letting the fingertips gently curl in. Gently rolling the head from side to side, super slow, until you find somewhere that's comfy in the center. Letting the eyes be softly closed. And then letting your body really sink in. Feeling it sort of sink heavier into the mat. Really letting your muscles release and relax. And letting the mind be free from constant thoughts. So if you notice now that the mind starts to become a little more active now that the body has stilled, it's totally normal. And if your thoughts do start to enter, acknowledge them, but then send them away. So this time on the mat is completely for you. To rest and restore. To revitalize body, mind, breath. Gradually start to feel your breath returning. You're starting to gently deepen your breath. You're feeling when you breathe in the belly, the chest expands. And when you breathe out, everything softens and lowers, releasing the body, emptying the body. And continuing with this deep and full breath as you start to make little movements with the fingers and little movements with the toes, gently reawakening the body and gently, slowly tuning into the noises around you, the noises of nature, all of the animals, the water, the wind. Feeling all the life that is around you, and all the life that is within you. And taking a big overhead stretch, reaching the hands all the way to the back of the room and pointing the toes all the way to the front as you lengthen out entirely. And then on the exhale, drawing the knees into the chest. And if you can keep your eyes closed, keep them closed as you roll over onto your right side. And pause here for just a moment. Letting the body settle on this side. We feel our energy returning, the circulation increasing. And one of the reasons we roll to the right in the morning to honour the sun, and then the left to the evening to honour the moon. So just in case you're ever wondering. And using your hands, gently pressing yourself up, coming to sit in any comfortable seated position. Bringing the hands into the center of the chest and sitting up nice and tall. And bringing your thumbs and connecting them to your third eye. And may your thoughts always be calm and always be clear. And then bring your thumbs to rest onto your lips. May you always speak words that are kind and that are true. And then bring the hands to rest in the center of the chest. And may you always act from a place of love and from a place of peace. Namaste.